Okay, so this is drummer's basketball.
Okay.
And we have a small ball because I don't want this big cumbersome thing, because all this is, we're not doing basketball, we're doing drummer's basketball, which looks like this. So no legs, feet forward, none of the NBA stuff, just super like controlled science, and just flip that sucker in there with only the power of, ideally, like just the, come up to 3 and just do a wrist flip, like no other movements. Just, yeah, precisely. Okay, we got Mr. Coordination here. Good.
Okay.
Do it again.
Right, hold this back here.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's see the maximum that you can do with just a wrist flip.
Moving back.
Yeah, like what can you do with just a wrist flip? Okay. Try that one more time at that distance. Give a little bit more gusto. Okay, come up to 8. 8 will be your number. So now here's drummer's basketball. And what you can do is we're going to record data to create metrics, right? Because we're all about the science. So you get 5 shots with your right, 5 shots with your left, and then we tally up the average. And then next week, it damn well better be better.
Right.
So 5 with the right, 5 with the left. 1, 2. Okay, good. 1 of 3. Okay, and now to be consistent about it, in fact, let's start over because I'm curious to see if this will work. Now just think you're throwing this thing with these 2 fingers. The last contact is these 2 fingers. Yeah, now it's going straight. 1. Two. Nice. Okay, 1 of 3. Oh, I'm just not used to having strong students. This is nice. Okay, 1 of 5 on the right. Now the sobering moment with the left hand. Ooh. Okay. 1. 2. And you can only go up from here. So actually you have an incentive to just get 0 out of 0 so that you can improve. Nice. Okay. 1 of 3. Nice. Nothing but net. 2 of 4. Yes. 3. Oh, how ironic. Okay, so get your phone on you.
Yeah.
Bust out your notes. And then create a heading that says drummer's basketball. And then a second metric that says drummer's baseball.
Okay.
And then under drummer's basketball, right hand, 1 out of 5. Or we could just know that it's out of 5. So you just write 1. 1 and 3. 1 and 3.
One more time, what was mine?
1 on the right hand, 3 on the left. Okay, now drummer's baseball, which is a bit more simple. Let's go this way. And that's what this thing is for. To mark where your furthest throw is. And what I want to see is this will be your pitcher's mound on the inside there, and this will be our constant. And so we have Flint is way over there. My 6-year-old is up here. And so for the fairway that I want you to go for, since I can trust that you can aim, just go to the left of the tree. And you get 10 shots. And the same thing with the basketball. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Same thing with the basketball. Even though I'm compelled to like do this with a 1 finger, just make it 2 fingers to be consistent. Okay. And that way, you know, you're going to be aiming pretty well. So, you know, it would go farther if the tree, you know what? Let's create it. This is the handicap kids one. We'll go over to the driveway and throw it farther because we're gonna go too far.
Maybe?
Yep. You can give me a few. All right. Okay, now, why are we doing basketball, and why are we throwing things? What's up with why? How does this have anything to do with a drum lesson?
I mean, I'm a teacher. I know it doesn't always look like the end result. Did you say to the left of the tree, to the road, or the right of the tree?
Well, now we're too far. Well, we're so far away now that it may not be.
Oh, okay.
It may be moot. So out of 10 shots, just bam, bam, just throw them out there, and I'll put a flag where the last one is. How many do you have?
I got 9.
Okay, 9, 10. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay. Don't pull anything. Hit me in the face. All right. Higher. Now we're talking, yes. Okay. Yes. Now we're talking. Close. Yep. I want, oh, yeah, okay. Yes. Is that it? All right. Your distance is right here. Okay. Let's grab that camera and we'll rendezvous at the house. Grab the camera and come to the house. So then the metric that we can record won't be anything now, but next time the metric will be went less or more, further or short. You just put that ball right there. And even with the handicap, you still got past Flint's throw from the handicap spot. So that's good. So I was right to bring you back further. Okay. So what shall we do first? Have a seat up here. We'll show you some basics first. And you don't need these. These are for the little kids to have like a place to put their feet when they're sitting so their feet don't dangle because it ruins their posture if their feet don't have a thing. Go ahead and join me on this side.
Oh, here. Okay.
Yeah. Where's that camera? Here it is. Rolling. Okay, so this is what Flint and I were just working on, which I'm going to leave. This is yours. Okay. But we're not going to do that right now. We're going to do, this is fine. You do one, I'll do one. Okay, so check it out. So you've met a technique Nazi, and you're only going to have any chance in the world if you can do things like this, because that's all we're doing here.
Yeah.
We're just throwing the stick, but we're not letting go of it.
Okay.
We're doing knife throws, but we're not letting go. That's the only difference. So it's all about the wrist. I have a 6-year-old, and he's just instantly, wham! And I met his dad, and I was like, yes, thank you, sir. Like, yes, thank you, Dad, for playing catch with this kid. Because now he's like athletically primed, because this is, at the end of the day, athleticism. I like to say refined violence.
I feel it sometimes, yes.
So check it out. This stick, Drumstick Anatomy 101, if it's held at a spot, it will bounce more than other places. Try this. Come to the back here and just let that drop, and notice that, and hit the kitty cat. That bounce, you show me where you think you're going to get the best bounce. Precisely.
Somewhere around there?
Yes. And that's what we call the fulcrum. Now, that's not the scientific fulcrum of the stick itself, where you're a science teacher?
No, but
What do you teach?
middle school at Tuscadero.
Which subject?
History and English.
Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah, that's good enough.
So the way any length of anything moves under a microscope is like this. Boom, 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 boom. When I hit this thing, these ends are going up and down. Boom, boom, boom. The middle is going up and down. But right here, nothing is going up or down, which is why it's mounted at those spots. So it's not dampening. Now if I held here, dead. Held here, dead. So if I hold right here at this spot, well, actually that's not entirely true. Now it's going to ring, and so now it's going to bounce in the form of a drumstick. Now, where that nodal point is, for the sake of hearing the stick, wah, 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 it's not where we hang on to it. That's a little bit more dead. It's actually like a thumb length behind it. Hear that stick? Dead. Too far. Now we can hear it, ba, 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 and now it's ringing. Now it's, I'm holding it at that spot. But where the drummer hangs onto it is actually slightly ahead of that scientific spot for more mechanical reasons. So wherever it bounces the most is where you hang on to the darn thing. Here, no way. If I dropped it from the centroid, the exact center of mass, like that's not, now it's not going down at all. And now if I go slightly behind that, it will drop, but now there's no output. Now there's no volume. Now there's, and it's still a bad bounce. So right about there. Because at the end of the day, when I'm playing something, you know, wild, this is a pair. That's not me moving that. That's the stick. That's just me doing the dribble game. Okay, so just like we dribble a basketball, go ahead and like pinch onto that, but without much, you know, without a grip, just like at one spot. And now just dribble the stick. And bounce it more towards the fulcrum. We could do it out here. But then that's more of like the slap when a kid just dribbles a basketball by just slapping it. That's what's going to occur out here. But if we were pushing it, just like Steph Curry pushes the basketball down instead of slapping it, we're pushing more towards here. So bounce it from right there. Start up and then throw it down. In fact, do this. Hold it parallel to gravity, and just throw it down, and get it to come up. Yes. In fact, scoot back in your chair a little bit, and we'll get, because we don't want the back of the stick hitting this. And get rid of the other fingers just at one spot. Yeah, exactly. Now, you're cheating. You don't get to move. This is, like my fingers are just now subject to that pressure, but you're not moving. This is just, okay, do like this. Do this, so you can really not cheat. Hold it with your left. You're right-handed?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God. Okay. Lefties, oh my gosh. Lefties are just as burdened in the drumming world as they are in the rest of the world. It's a thing. Because every single drummer on the planet, every single drum line on the planet, 1, 2, ready, go, right. It's called a right hand lead versus left hand lead. 1, 2, ready, go, left hand, no one starts with left hand. Okay. Do this with your left and then dribble with your right. And get that thing to come up further. That thing is going to really launch. Start high, and now throw it down from there. Yes. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Yeah, good. Now, the extension, the progression of this movement is now come to that same spot and do the 4-finger pinch thing to have it be more of a symmetrical centered thing. And now just do the same thing, but now with the pressure of your thumbs, now your thumb is slightly ahead of it, just like we're pushing, where I heard a dribble hand ahead of it. So now it does this. Yeah, good. Oh, coordination. This is instant coordination. Okay. Clearly,
we'll get there. I'll show.
Clearly, I'm next to a pier. Good. So that's the nature of the bounce of the stick. Some people hold their sticks back here. That's dumb.
I mean,
because they're not going to get any bounce out of that. I mean, they could. I mean, they could choke all the way back if they're just going do, ja, do, and just killing things without any need for any bounce.
I mean,
and most drum set playing doesn't involve any bounces anyway.
Yeah. I've been playing and I never really utilized any bounce.
And if you're playing just basic drum set stuff, you're not going to anyway. But if you were to, join a drum line or anything, the best drummers on the planet come from drum corps. They come from the art and craft of 2 sticks, 1 surface. Not multi-surface. This is multi-surface. This is actually single and now multi. So single surface playing is where it's at in the beginning to practice all of our patterns, 4 and 4. And to get that sounding on the money with 1 sound, because if I do this and split those hands, now I'm being distracted by the change of pitch.
Oh, okay.
If I just hear a machine gun, like a Gatling gun, ba 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 ba, then I'm going to be more aware of the exact little minute interval of space being consistent with the next interval of space, with the next interval of space, as opposed to this. Now, that's going to become way more apparent if I do it on 1 surface. Now we're super exaggerating. So, single surface playing versus multi. So in the beginnings, we all just do single surface stuff. And that usually comes in the form of doing concert snare drum stuff in like a school band, just playing 1 drum. This is called rudimental drumming. Like when I use all these patterns that I know, like the back of my own hand, and can fly through them like the wind. That's called rudimental drumming. Now, you could say that all drumming is rudimental, but we're not going to we're not going to call that rudimental drumming. We're just going to call that, rocking out on the drum set. And usually rudimental drumming involves like all the bounce stuff. So, what shall I have him do first? Okay. All right, let's build the hand. So we know where to hang on to it, and we know why. So let's do this first. Let's do a diagnosis first. Scoot back a little bit. Let me give you a platform because I don't want you to feel you got to lean forward at all. There we go. Yeah, that's better, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Because I want you to be, straight up. I want you to feel like you can, that you're not falling forward at all. Yeah. The fewer distractions, the more comfortable you are, the better. Okay. So, bring this out. This is clever. Velcro, just position it anywhere I want. Okay. See monkey, do monkey. Okay, now, so this is what everyone does who doesn't know anything. And it's for good reason. Okay, so us humans, we are a thumbs on top creature. If my hands are down, you said, lift your hands, I would do that. And my thumbs are on top of the other fingers. Thumbs on top of the other fingers. So that's a very natural position. The thumbing thing is very natural. It's very ergonomic to the way we're built. But now we have to overcome this tendency to have thumbs on top. And resisting the temptation to put hands together to do things that look like this. Hands together is the cardinal sin. Now, to be fully informative, thumbs on top, this stroke, it's called French grip. So it's a thing. And, the kettle drum players, boom, 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 all that Beethoven drumming stuff, that's French grip. You want this because there's a nice roll against the thumb there, so it creates a nice springiness. But on timpanis, on the timpani, that's plural, we're not going to do any of this stuff. We're not going to do that anyway. The most we're ever going to do is just do a fast single stroke roll, meaning right, left, right, left. That's all. That's as advanced as it gets. And we can get away with having thumbs on top because it's kind of a dainty, not power thing at all. But this, there's no way. Okay, watch this. I'll play something ripping fast in German grip. French, German, French, German, French, American, German. Oh. But there's basically just two camps, French and German. You know, thumbs on the side, thumbs on top. So, okay. Okay, that is a decently quick tempo. Now, ask me to play that same kind of lick here. It's like blatantly obvious to me that the quality of sound now just completely just took it down. Because what's happening is I need something on the back of the stick. If I'm just pinching here and I just have I could hit it here, but in this position, now the back of the stick happens. Because, okay, check this out. Now, do this. Just put the stick into place. Now, if I want this, okay, let's do a little riddle. If I want this to raise off there, come away from the surface, and with this hand, I only get to touch it at that one spot, and if I only had one finger, how do I get that to raise other than just, doing that? Correct? So now, if there's something back here and I lift, now it goes up. That's what's happening. It's hitting here. It's hitting this part of my hand. So when I'm air drumming, that sound I'm hearing, bam, 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 is this. Okay, let's build the hand. Do this. Hit the back of your arm. Hit underneath your arm. Yeah, good. Now, incorporate the pinky in there too. Think of drummers have 3 fingers. 2 fingers. The fulcrum set and the pad set. I don't know, like just this there's just like one mitten. There's never going to be out for T. This is one unit. And hold your arm parallel to the earth so that, as opposed to like here, because what we want is to allow gravity to let this drop. Yeah, good. Oh, coordination. So refreshing. My 6-year-old, he's like, good. The little kids, they turn. When they're doing this, they're also like swiveling. And so I'm getting him to like isolate, which is why drummers basketball and drummers baseball is so crucial to like a little young mind to like really isolate motions. And what I didn't do with you, I've actually, if I remember to do it next week, I do a little breathing thing. So I have the kid, get into position, and then I have the kid go 1, 2. Just a little ritual breath, just to get them to like chill and to make sure that they're grounded and they're not moving, so that the next movement is just this as opposed to then go, which is going to be inconsistent. So, okay, now there are two options for how to make this stick go that way and have to come back. We can just turn at the wrist. We can do a death grip on this with your fingers, and then just turn at the wrist. It's going to feel kind of stiff because your hand is locked onto your fingers are locked down. Your hand isn't opening at all. Yeah, good. Yeah. So now we have a second option where we can just open the fingers and it goes down, and we can lift with the fingers, where the wrist then stays in place. Yes. Now, wrist and fingers. So the equivalent of that in normal position is I'm cranked way back for a huge stroke. Bam! Because I'm having, my wrist is open, my wrist is cranked, my wrist is cocked, and my fingers are cocked. So we can even try this. Just try like opening your hand so much that you actually hit the back of your own arm. And you're going to kind of have to like sacrifice the integrity of the stroke just to get it to go that far. I'm right in the middle of inventing things that will...
Yeah, did you make this?
Yeah, I made all this.
Oh.
And I'll before I forget, oh, here it is. This is my trainer stick, which we'll get to in 2 seconds. So, okay, so now just come and we're going to create a little drill. We're going to go 4 wrist, 4 fingers. So wrist only 2, 3, 4, then fingers 2, 3, 4, wrist 2, 3, 4, fingers 2, 3, 4, without having the wrist turn at all. And then when you do the wrist, then it's no fingers at all, just a death grip. It's going to feel rigid, which you would never want to actually feel that kind of rigidity while playing, but you know, this is a drill. And what we can do is this little bone right here, since you're a long, lanky guy, you can have this come short of that bone, but if you go too far, then you whack that, and that's a bad day. I've done it twice in my career. And so, but the little kid, my little 6-year-old, he has to like hold him in the center of the stick because his little elbow is right there. Yeah. So the more stick you can get, then the more like weight that you have. I could put a weight on that. I could use my metal sticks. Oh, it's in different stick bag. Not out here. Wow. This hickory, this huge, massive stick is good enough. Okay, let's do the drill. Wrist, 2, 3, and then when you're doing the wrist, this hand is closed, and that pinky is wrapped all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fingers, 2, 3, 4. Wrist, 2, 3, 4. Fingers, 2, 3. Left hand. This is going to separate the men from the boys here. So, and then get your thumb. Get your thumb on the stick. I'll explain that in a second. Fingers, 2, 3, 4. Wrist, 2, 3, 4. Fingers, 2, 3, 4. Wrist, 2, 3, 4. Fingers, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now bring it back to the right hand just to have it be the more coordinated hand. Now, fling that out there. Like do like a 180. But what's happening now is the wrist is cranking and the fingers are cranking. And so now you have a dual crank. Now you're creating an extreme amount of leverage, which then can transfer, boom, into a drum. That double, I mean, you can hear that. Like that's moving very fast. What is a sonic boom?
When something breaks the sound barrier?
Yeah, but why does it create a boom?
Oh, going so fast. Yeah, I actually don't know.
Okay, imagine this is moving faster than the speed of sound. All of these air molecules, they're getting compressed. Like if we're at, an old-fashioned 1980s McDonald's with the balls in there, and those things can squeeze a little bit. If I just push on that, they'd all compress a little bit and then want to expand. And so what we're hearing when we hear a jet fly by that's going past the sound barrier is it's building up so much pressure. And what is sound? Sound is just air pressure. And so, that feeling that you get is that air that you're feeling, if it's moving, if there's so much air there, then you're going to like really hear it, and it's going to be loud. It's a sonic boom. And so when Indiana Jones goes, whoosh, and that, like, what did it hit? It made a sound. It's moving past the sound barrier. It's going over 700 miles an hour. Sound barrier is like, well, it depends on temperature and altitude. It's about 767 miles per hour. And so the fact that we can just hear this, like, it's pushing air. It's like getting air molecules out of the way. That's what we're hearing. And so that extreme amount of speed generated by not only this, but the combination. So in this position, and you can just like think about throwing it out. There it is. Now slow it down and make it smooth. Yeah, good. I like how you're isolating, you're stopping and breaking the motion down. Now just allow your ability to balance and pendulum things. Just make it whoop, whoop, make it smooth. Now don't hit your bone. It's going to be a bad day. Yeah. That's the motion. Okay, now, building this further. So what is up with this? What thumb, finger, what's going on? Okay, so at the spot where we hold on to it, the bounce spot, is now we're going to put our thumb and our finger, and yeah, you got lanky enough fingers to where that can actually reach around and touch. And so here are the bad habits. Thumb off the stick. Now, give me your finger, so you can just feel this. This is what it feels like to be, thumb off the stick. This is as hard as I'm grabbing. Now, if I do this, now I can crack your hand open. So that's just proof of the pudding right there that you are holding onto the stick here, not here. All of your power, you might as well just dig your own grave. Like so. That, and try this. Open your hand for now, fan these fingers out deliberately for now, and just have that go down and have it bounce. Yeah, exactly. So we want that structure. We basically just want this, yet with this, I don't have any power. There's not enough. This stick is proportionate to me. These Ralph Hardiman sticks are my favorite because they're like perfectly proportioned to me and most grown men. And so, most adults rather. I put this in the 6-year-old's hands. In his hand, like he can barely wrap around it. But I put a heavy stick in a kid's hand because I want them to feel that weight. And, there they are. I'll reveal this. This is an invention. This is a failed prototype. Well, it kind of works. The way its basic function is this. This stick goes into there, and then this goes in my arm. So then the back of the stick, there we go. The back of the stick is guided, and so if the back of the stick is guided, that means the front of the stick is guided. But now, I have way more elegant solutions to that problem, which I'll show you. Yeah, I'm going to leave you with some drills to go work on, and at the end, we'll jump on the set and bang on that because it's fun.
Yeah, my friend gave me your cardinal card, and I was like, I got to figure out what this means.
Okay, good.
It's in the car, but...
All right, well, I got another one. In fact, I have one right here. We can just use it for reference. Who?
Is Russ?
Oh, yeah. I met him at a thing the other day.
Yeah.
Cool. See them more bay?
No, but I go do the plunge with him every Saturday.
The plunge?
The Morro Bay ocean cold water plunge and then sauna.
Oh, and then warming up? Okay.
Yeah, right there on the beach.
You and I have no blubber, so.
Yes, but you get used to it. And it feels
Okay,
really good.
remind me of that at the end, because I might want to go do that. Okay. This will be our reminder. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to business. And if you want to be real anal, you can put Velcro on your stick so you never lose a pair. And then actually, this prevents me from going too far up the stick and going back too far if I don't feel that Velcro. Strategic on where to put the Velcro. Okay. I do not like those sticks. I like these. You can tell I like these because they're super worn out. Oh, those feel like a dream. Okay. Let's take this off. Okay. We'll do the back of the arm thing. And with just the pull of the index, you just do little baby hits and have that hit your arm. But with no other fingers, just the index. And then straighten out your wrist right there. Okay, so now add the middle finger. So now you have now you have way more control over it. Now you can go bigger. Now add the ring finger and then add the pinky. Or you could do just the pinky. You could do fulcrum and then just the pinky. That's a little annoying. And then just this and just that. So you can isolate these fingers and then bring them all into concert into one thing. Yeah. Now just do wrists and no fingers. Yeah. Okay, so let's not separate. I have the kids do whipping things, just like Indiana Jones. We do ceiling whips. So we go up to simulate.
Oh, wow.
So we go crack
Okay.
to focus on the upstroke, which, is the predecessor to the downstroke. There is no downstroke without an upstroke. And the quality of that upstroke determines the quality of the downstroke. So, show me what not to do with the thumb.
On top?
Well, that too, but then also to have it come away. If you look down and you see that, you're bad news. So,
French?
yeah, French grip. And then notice that this exercise becomes moot if we're in French, because now there's nothing to hit.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we could hit, but then it's, because our fingers are, the tips of our fingers is what has the most amount of leverage. And so if I'm here and my tips are on it versus here at the base of my thumb, the base of my fingers, and now that hinge is moving, that's so much slower. The speed of the bottom of my finger is so much slower than the out extremities. So there's way more leverage and way more speed. So if I'm wanting to use my fingertips to get this thing dribbling, then if my hand is turned over and I close my hand and my fingers come up versus this, where now the back, where the bottom of the fingers are making the thing come up, this versus this. Now, wham! Now there's a whole lot more leverage with those fingers. Another reason to do German grip. Okay. Okay. Hold the center of the stick. And now, hit your arm and the thing at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, you're looking like a pro already. Elbow out, this up, good. Now let me move a little faster. And then our spectrum is now, do it again. Now we're getting towards the actual grip. Towards the actual grip. And right about there is our money. But now we only have a little nub here, and we're not going to be hitting the back of our arm. Now the back of the stick is hitting this part of our hand, as far as what it is hitting. But then the reason why we do this, the reason why we hit the back of our arm is because we want this to be a straight line. Flint's bad habit is doing this, which is a nightmare. A lot of people do this. We want that vector to be the same. We don't want to be turning at all. That's whichever way the wrist bends is the direction we want the stick going. And that just so happens to be in alignment with your arm because it's preceded by the arm. Now, let's get super Mr. Miyagi about things. You know that reference.
I do.
You better. Can't call yourself a child of the... How old are you? 37?
36.
Child of the 90s. Okay, so now, watch this. Hit this thing a few times. Okay, right here. And let's do this for now. Okay, give me a few hits. And then I'm going to move you over to the edge right here. Now, I'm going to do a few hits there. Okay, I know it needs to happen. Stand up for a moment. Drop you down 3 inches. Bust those apart. I just need one. There we go. Okay. Now you're slightly lower. Yes, now we're talking. Okay, give me a few hits. And then you can come a little bit lower, right there. Now you look comfortable. And now this. So what you want to avoid is hitting that. So now, what's preventing you from going up is this thing, and what's preventing you from going down too low is then just slapping the edge. So you have a very narrow tolerance. Now you are forced to keep your arm in place because the bad habit is this. No wrist and only lifting the arm, articulating at the shoulder. That's what little kids do when they're shown nothing. So now, look, you look like a pro drummer immediately because you are forced to use the wrist. Okay, take this one. I'll have you point in the same vector, right about there. Give me a few strokes with just the left. And then come up. Oh, this is too narrow. Oh, the table is, oh, I need a weight. I need a counterweight. There we go. Give me another weight. Now, sit up straight and now come up all the way. Wham. And give me some double stops. A double stop is just two together. So go slower and smoother. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, and there's a prototype of something else I want to build. Where's that fourth bar? Let me just use this. This is another technique thing I use. All right, have the upstroke hit this bar. Do just the right hand. You go bop it, between the two. Now, I could take this away and then give you a super narrow target to hit, as long as it's, parallel with the circular vector. Because if we can control the target of the upstroke, if we're doing downstrokes and we're hitting something down, if we're also hitting something on the way up, and that's consistent, okay, let's do a little experiment. Hit right there. Okay, now don't hit my finger. Now you're compelled to slow down to get it right. And assuming this is like the same exact, that it's flush with this, then we know. And so the idea is to just have like a table that has these little targets that are movable, and that they're flush with the thing, and that they're maybe just mounted here so they can go like straight down, so we know it's flush with the surface. And then you just hit, here, go ahead and hit my hand.
The ideal invention?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know those influencers sometimes have the thing that holds the phone. It kind of can curl all over the place. One of those, like a selfie stick.
Oh my gosh, that's so much better.
But it wouldn't stay solid.
It wouldn't stay straight either. I would just need to build like a hinged thing that creates a target for the upstroke. Because if this stroke, okay, hit my, well, that leads me to my next, to the other thing there. So now hit that target. And then if your other target was here, hit that wood, and then hit this wood. Now we know that that's going straight up and straight down, because what we don't want is this.
Yeah.
That's what morons do. Okay. That's what people do who aren't trained and don't know anything. Now, can you get away with playing drum set like this? Yeah. There's a famous drummer. He played for the Police, Copeland something. He does that. He looks like a nightmare. Yeah. He thumbs up. Not only thumbs up, but like even more out. Like he's gone from this to this to this. And the quality of his sound is inevitably not as good as if that thing, as opposed to the thing going straight down and full chi, straight down. I'm not gonna punch you like this. I'm not gonna like side, I'm going to like hit you square on. So okay. Now, check this out. So put your thumb on this side of that bar, and then your finger on that side of the bar. Now, watch this. So, bad habit, thumb down stick. Second bad habit, finger down stick. Third bad habit, pinkies out. No. So, we're going to lock this into place. There's no reason why your index finger needs to go anywhere at all. And then we create a nice enough spot to where I need to put something here so that thumb, because the thumb could slip down. Oh, good. I'm glad we're doing this. Okay, so now this one comes over these knuckles, or under them, and then this one goes over the knuckles. Because what happens is sometimes a drummer will open the hand too much. Because the only reason why we'd ever need to open the hand at all is to do a bounce. And so therefore, my fingers can't be on that. If they are on that, then there's no bounce. So there needs to be a pivot at one spot. So that's the only reason why I open my hand a little bit to do stuff like that. Otherwise, me opening it way up is significant. So you have, open your fingers. So you have just enough space there to create a bounce if you wanted to, which is like, bouncing stuff is we're not even near that conversation yet, but that's, the rhyme and reason why it's elastic. So now, what do you think is going on with the stick? What is that? What is this?
You mean this here?
Yeah, what's going on with that?
I think this
Hit the thing a few times.
This seems to be,
Uh-huh.
similar to what we were doing before.
Correct.
I couldn't keep it straight up.
Do French grip.
French grip is out, is on top.
Now what do you feel?
It is a little.
Now you feel this weight kicking off to the side. This needs to be a little heavier.
Yeah.
And so if we want it to feel good, we have to have that thing right over the momentum. And so if we turn our hand at all, then we're going to instantly do it bigger. Boom, boom, boom. Now turn outward as you do it. Now it feels like garbage. Yeah, good. That's an appropriate face. You want it to feel bad if you're doing it bad.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I feel here bad. I mean, this feels actually really good because I'm a thumbs on top creature. I mean, that feels good. So I'm creating a way for it to feel bad.
Okay. Yeah.
And making it feel good to do it right. What a concept. So that's the trainer stick. And so your homework assignment, do you have sticks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in the car if you want to.
I know exactly what you have.
Yeah.
2Bs? Does it say 2B on the stick?
In my
You don't know.
Say,
Okay, it's most likely. Okay, so here. Where's my? Oh, it's down here. I was doing this with Flint. Where's my? I put it in the wrong spot. Okay, here's your homework assignment. Put it here and do that in between.
You mean different?
Oh, yeah. Pull your hand out of there. Normal stick. put it in between your index and your middle, and then do the same thing. Now, what this does is now it's just like really dumb to do this because now we're not using the roll of the thumb, which makes French grips feel so good. So now if we're doing this, then that's just dumb. So it really compels the hand to turn over. My 6-year-old, I have him play like this. Do, do, jat, do, do, jat. Because then that forces his hand to turn this way. So we'll call this the 3-finger arm hits. And then 2 categories of that. Wrist, actually 3 categories, fingers, and then both. The full motion, that. So the 3-finger, because we don't really need to develop, the thing that needs to be developed first are these fingers. Hanging on to it, I mean, I can play like this.
No.
I kind of have to slow down a little bit because I don't have as much crushing power as I do here. Ooh, left hand. So I can play like that. Forces the hand to turn over. So 3-finger arm hits. And you can get in front of a mirror, and like you can turn yourself to see straight down your arm. You can like create an angle, and then you can see, you know, the straight up and down, and then also this line too, this versus that straight. So you can get in front of the mirror and do that. Just write down mirror checking for straightness. Okay. If you just do that, you do it with 3 fingers. Yeah. If you just do that all day in your car, driving around, do it while you're teaching class. Just teacher, why are you doing that? I've got homework to do. Now make sure your pinky is a part of it. The pinky has abandonment issues. So don't traumatize it psychologically. Yeah. If you just do that and isolate it between the wrists, the fingers, and then both, then you're going to be a rock star really soon. And then you can get in front of the mirror and like look. You can even do this in front of the mirror. Like you can do anything in front of the mirror. Okay, now I'll leave you with some brain stuff. Body, brain.
Yeah.
Watch this. Paradiddle, 4 syllables. Paradiddle. This is a paradiddle. Paradiddle and another paradiddle. Paradiddle. Para meaning different. Different hand. Right then left. Para. Diddle is an alliteration of just the same sound. D-d. Double. D-d. So we have d-d. 2 of the similar hand. D-d. That's called a diddle. Para. We don't call those paras, but we just call those single strokes. These are single strokes. Right, left, right. Right, and then double strokes. Right, left. So we have this hand, then that hand, and then we have 2 on each hand. And that's pretty much where it stops. Yeah, there's 3s. but I have to move fast enough for those to become bounces, then I can call them threes. But if I'm just doing this, that's just 1 3 times. 1 1 1. It has to be moving fast enough to be a bounce to call those threes. You're never going to use threes in your whole life, I guarantee it. I don't even use threes. No one uses threes practically unless you're a really fancy drum line and you have a lot of confidence. So, paradiddle. That's the rhyming reason for why it's called that. Now it's called the paradiddle grid because now there are variations on the same pattern. Look at this. Paradiddle. 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 So it's still there. Once, once, twice. Once, once, twice. But now it's just shifted over. Paradiddle, paradiddle. And these are meant to be looped. This symbol here, these 2 dots, means to repeat it. Okay. Just a constant loop. Paradiddle, paradiddle. So now, this 3 4, 2 3, 1 2, 4 1. What's that all about? Well, that's just the placement of the diddle. This third and fourth note, 1 2 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is where the diddle is. 3 2 and 3. Yeah. Radiddle, paradiddle. 2 and 1, diddle para, diddle para. It's like a reverse paradiddle. That's actually what that's called, a reverse paradiddle. And then 4 1. Okay, well, where is the double? Okay, well, it's 1 2 3 4 1. 4 1. It crosses the bar line, crosses that divider plane. It's called over the bar line. Paradiddle, paradiddle. So now, but if it's just the same pattern over and over and over again, like if it's, then why create different variations of it? This symbol right here means loud. That little means accented note. Bam! Loud, soft, soft, soft. Loud, soft, soft, soft. Or rather, using actioning words, big, small, 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 big, small, small, small. It's kid language. You give kids the action word, not the result word. Like, the result of being big is loud. But it starts off big, so that's what it is. It's a big and smalls. Big, small, 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 which is why I have those words. Big, small, 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 big. That's actually written there. It's super tiny. I'm doing a new iteration.
Sure look closer, yeah.
And so, but now, if this pattern is now going to shift over 1, if it's going to be displaced, yet we still keep the accent there, then it becomes a whole different animal. Watch this. I shall demonstrate on 2 different surfaces. And it's only really demonstratable if I have 2 different surfaces. So, paradiddle, paradiddle. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Once, once, twice, once, once, twice. Let's move this up. Imbalance. This whole thing is Velcro. It's not very sturdy. Okay, so now, if I played a paradiddle with all of the same dynamics just means, the loud or the soft of a thing. If we have loud, soft, 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 loud, soft, 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 and if we took that away, if there was all louds or all softs, then it would sound like this. There's no musicality to that at all. It's just ba 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 ba. It's just machine gunning. Ba 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 ba. What's that? That's nothing. That doesn't sound like music, which is the goal of all of this. Okay, now, what if I added the accent? What if I sculpted that dynamically, made the first one loud and the rest soft? So I'll go from all loud and then having small notes in there, little baby notes, to fill in that contrast. Now you would agree that we have something to dance to. So now we have a pulse. And there's a thing called danceable tempos where, okay, dance, boom, 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 boom. You can dance to that. But if I said, dance to this, you're not hearing any pattern there. But you might hear a pattern if I do this. And accented one of every 4 of those. So this is all about the accents and dynamics. In fact, let me show you the predecessor to this really fast. So this is for the kiddos. This is the 3 magic ingredients of music making itself. It's not particular to drums, although it's written in the language of drums, rights and lefts and minimal staves. Okay, so do this. 4 rights, 4 lefts. One, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, now, so that's 4 and 4. Now, sculpt that with the next permutation. Now make the first of those big and the rest small. Now slow that down so you can do this. See where your thumb is? Your thumb is thick. Don't be a jerk. Okay, that's the idea. Now, there's a technique to make that sound better, which we'll get to. But now stick your right hand here and keep your left hand there. And now add the third permutation of low, 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 high, high. So do the same operation. 4, 4, big, small, 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 big, small, small, small. Exactly. So now you're a musician officially by just demonstrating that. So now, because what we need to understand is this is a very basic lesson of how dynamics sculpt the sound and how pitch further sculpts the sound. Because I could do this, and just have 4 notes that are the same. Now we have an assimilation of music. So the paradiddle grid, watch this. Here's paradiddle with 2 different surfaces. Now if I'm on some drums, that sounds dope. That sounds super amazing. And so this is just an analogy for a drum set. Multi-surface, multi-surface. So, I have 2 different sticks. No wonder that feels weird. I have 2 different heads. So here's the regular paradiddle. Here's the first one. Here's the next one. Oh, those are my special sticks. Okay. Oh, I forgot about these. These are cool. This is a way to remote the fulcrum. To get a kid to just allow that bounce to happen. So I'll play this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll count to 4 on the first one, and then in the next 4 I'll switch, and then you'll hear it change. I don't expect you to fully understand what's going on, but I just want you to recognize that it sounds different.
Okay.
And I won't play it so fast. 3, 4. of them.
Wow, I heard a few, but all of them.
Each one is totally different because it's where the accent is placed.
Okay, I can. All right.
There's another way to think of this, which is just kind of obnoxious, which is why I didn't write it this way. We could just do just the paradiddle and just only have this and not 4 separate patterns. But then the way to achieve the same thing is just to then switch the accent, which is just obnoxious.
Same thing, but yeah.
It's the same thing, but the practical use of it and the way you're feeling it, where you're still slamming down the 1 and then throwing that around on a drum set in different ways, then that's the full, that's the most useful understanding of it. Although another academic way to do it is just to shift the accent.
No, I get that.
Now, before, also, I want to add this too. Last thing, I'll let you go. Do this. Come back here, and your target, I want your arm in between the target and the stick. So not here, but like it's behind. And what you're going to do is this. Yes. And you're not going to curl your fingers at all. You're not going to create leverage there. You're just going to keep an open hand. And you're just going to use the strength of these fingers to just pendulum forward, pendulum back. But you got to throw it down fast enough to where it wants to come back up.
Still want to hold with those fingers. Do that.
Creates a little bit of a grip. I created some gloves for my 6-year-old because his little fingers can't hang on to that, especially if we're going to do a down. The stick just goes boom, right out of his hand. So I had his mom buy baseball gloves, and then I took this stuff. I took this rubber tubing and I super glued it right here, and then shoved the stick in there. So now he doesn't have to like hang on to it with his little tiny fingers, and he just gets the motion. Yeah. And because what this is, again, this is to combat French grip. And this is the reason why I have him play like this, without the fulcrum fingers yet, because that forces him to be turned over. And this is called the chop. Boom. So what's going to happen is your elbow is going to do this. Wham, 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 wham. This does not simulate real drumming, but it does simulate getting the right straight down and the straight up vector and really allowing, see, if I do this, and if I want the stick to come back up, but if I hang on to it, my hand stays here, that means that it's in the way. It can't move because I've just grabbed onto it. But if my hand moves out of the way, this wants to do this. So I have to move my hand out of the way, which is a kind of an abstract way to think about it. Let the stick move your hand up for you. Yeah, and really let that thing like it's gonna want to start turning way sooner. So now you really have to get that out of the way because you want it to start at the same spot that it ends in. So we're creating a consistent upstroke. Yes. Uh-huh. Now you could go buy some baseball gloves and stick a little thing in there and just create that apparatus. Or I could just make them and sell them. And then you could wrap the finger around there a little bit. Sure, go ahead and add some leverage to the but you got to really allow it to go boing. Like it's just going to fly up. It needs to fly up just as fast as a bullet leaves a gun. Like the bullet is gone by the time you feel any recoil at all. It's not a proportionate thing. It's not like a this, then that. It's not like you're out in space and you push this way so you get equal and opposite forces. I mean, that's what kickback is. But it's going so fast because there's magic in there. It's just shooting that out faster. So it's not purely mechanical. Think faster, up, then down. Up, up. Yes. And then get that to end here in a suspended way. Yes. Throw it down a little bit faster so that it wants to fly back up. But you got to get everything out of the way so it can, look how fast it goes up. Like, I didn't move out of the way enough. Like, I really got to like get out of the way. That is truly pivoting right there. But if this wants to go up any further, now my hand has to get out of the way. And if this is going to go further, now my arm has to get out of the way. So this is called the chop. Chop, chop. And if it's ending in the same spot, that means it went down straight and came up straight. Do just this. Come down, but then stay down. And have that fly out of your hand. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now you don't want to fly out of your hand. You have to go up with it. And by doing this huge exaggerated motion, it just drives home the point even more that you must get out of the way. Exactly. Yeah. If you're dropping 6, this is good. Like that is going up very fast because there is nothing in the way. There's no hindrance. It's just a pure pivot. And because this is kind of weak, I don't get to manhandle it at all. It's a true pendulum. It's a true pivot. I almost lost that one. And so, okay, I won't move. I'll move too slowly. Now it's out. Now it just escaped because the position of it being held didn't go with it. So now I'll just move really fast. Boom, boom, elbow out, elbow in. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, that one was good. That one had a lot of speed going up. Go back to the forefinger fulcrum, this, and just throw that down, and maybe like hit your body. Yeah, see how boom, it's flying up? You want it to fly up at the same speed. And I have that so controlled that it's doing this. Like I can just stop it on a dime right there. Like it's not wiggling afterwards. I'm truly moving at the speed in which the stick is moving.
I think it's maybe the closest thing I know is the kettlebell. Catching the kettlebell. I don't know if following it.
What's the kettlebell thing?
I mean, like you have to catch it as it comes up. I don't know if that's the nearest I can think of what this is.
Don't even bother trying to come up with analogies. No. It's its own beast.
All right.
Although I like, that you're trying to make connections. Ah, yeah, that last one went up, boom, super fast.
I feel like I'm stopping with my own fingers, though.
Correct.
I don't want it to fall out.
So now just do a true thing and don't add any leverage here, but just move a little bit slower. You can do it slowly. Like I'll do it super slow, but then that means that if it's going down slowly, I have to throw it down fast enough though for it to want to come back up. And I'm not lifting it.
Okay.
Let's see if I can do it as slow as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just barely, it starts starting to like slow down at the top of the arc. That was it. That went up on its own. That was it. Yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Good. Dropping the sticks is the name of the game. This is why I have so many. Like, because with Flint in the first few months I had him, it was just mayhem, just shrapnel of sticks everywhere. I was like, because he would have spent half the lesson going to pick, and I was like, here you go, just let them all hit the ground.
Yeah.
And so that is called the chop.
Okay.
Show me, so that I know that you know, show me the 3-finger arm hits.
Let's see.
3-finger, what does that mean, 3-finger?
This.
Yep.
Here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, don't even bother with fulcrum fingers for now. Those are 3-finger arm hits. And now show me just wrist. Show me just fingers. Show me both. Yep. And then you can get in front of the mirror and, you know, you get super scientific in front of the mirror. And now show me the chop. Mm-hmm. Think about your elbow going out, in, boom, boom. Think about the elbow initiating. Yes, yeah, there it is. That's what I needed to say. Like, your end position is truly going to be straight down. Now, if this is straight down, look at your wrist. Your wrist is cranked, which is what we want. So we're doing like a super exaggerate. Your arm isn't going to really ever go up this high. I mean, it might if you're going really crazy, but it's just going to be a wrist thing and a finger thing. But to do exaggerated, have it end here. Uh-huh. And so that means your elbows like really like get out of the way. So it's an exercise in teaching your body to get the hell out of the way. Yes. Oh. This is so satisfying. I need to work with adults. I need to work with more adults. This is nice. I need to work with coordinated adults. I have a friend who has a kid. He's 18 now, and he's going to Japan and doing the wrestling stuff. He's like a super beast athlete. He was getting up at 4 in the morning every day before high school. You know, he's like going to running, going swimming in the ocean. He goes more bay high, and he's a total beast. And I had this set up at the fair last summer.
Oh.
And he was there. He came, and so I got to work with him. He was doing all of the things just like as you are, just immediately.
Yeah.
Because I mean, look at these veins. Like you have strength, you have fluidity already in the arms. I could tell just by you just flipping the basketball that I was
I'm gonna really break your heart when I tell you that I taught drums at school today as a pure beginner, and I just want because I'm gonna bring my electronic drum set in after the state testing and say if you're done with everything you can play on the drums and see if that motivates them to do stuff. So I told them I will teach them.
When I substitute taught, I brought sticks and a pad, and also a kalimba.
I could definitely use a pad.
This thing.
Yes, I have that actually.
And so I would bring, I at the beginning of each substitute class, I pull out my pad, and I go, just something really fast, and I say, okay, now, and everyone will go, oh, and so then now, all right, if you do your work,
I'll let you.
then I can like show you some more cool stuff.
That's perfect. Yeah.
They were eating out of my hand. I never had a problem in 4 years.
It's the same with me these last few days because we have nothing to do at the end of the day except put computers away. And I've been saying I will teach you. I'll let you teach. Try a little bit. I took a photo of what I found on YouTube at least. It's the basic drum beat, and I put it on the computer too and said here, like try to get this going. And just seeing like the kids come up, and we have really nothing to do except mess around, and so they're raising their hands. I want to come up and use the sticks. I only got one pair of sticks, and they're just hitting the table until I bring the computer in. Bring the drum set in.
So what you can do is teach them the chop. Okay, so do you know this? Show me what you know.
Okay.
Show me what you know.
This is I only have the electronics, so I think.
Whatever. There's surfaces. This needs to be way higher for you.
This is this. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to put a face with a name here. I'm just hitting the same looking pads at home.
Okay, what's this drum called?
This is the snare.
Yeah.
This is the hi-hat.
Correct.
I wouldn't know. This is just cymbals.
Right cymbal. Right cymbal versus a crash cymbal. A crash cymbal is smaller. You go bam and you hit it on the edge.
Yeah.
A right cymbal is you just dance on the edge like that, or dance on the face of it. Okay, now you're going to apply everything you learned
True.
during your German grip. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're never going to put your foot there again. You're going to put the ball of your foot in the center of the pedal, because the center of that pedal is where the fulcrum of that pedal is.
Yeah, with the
Lift your heel and bring this stool like 1 inch closer, right there. Because what we want is when your foot is in the right position, we want this to be a right angle.
Okay.
Because we want the full weight of this. It's going to go straight down. Now, the pressure is being applied a little bit forward than that. So keep your foot up, keep your heel up, and just hit with your toe. And now, just like the chop, hit it and come away. Yes. Yeah, you got to really get your foot out of the way, or else you're just going to press.
Yeah. And the bottom is there?
You just keep it up. The foot's going to look like this.
It's going to hover.
It's just up. It's a toe thing.
That's a new thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's a toe thing. So toe in the center of the pedal. Yes, that you allowed it to come back. Yeah. But you don't want to ever lift it away.
Yeah.
You just want to keep in contact with it always.
Okay, that definitely needs.
The same rules apply. All the talks about fulcrum and bounce, same. It's just different appendage. And the only reason why we have this weird apparatus thing, because we don't have the dexterity to like hang on to stuff with our feet. So we have to have it hung on by hardware, and then a way to mechanize it that's just as easy for the foot to do this as it is for the hand to do that. Now, put your left foot over there on that pedal.
Okay.
Put your left over here, and now do a double bass drum pedal.
Oh.
Go right, left, right, left.
I didn't even.
Isn't that cool?
I wonder if the electric one can have a.
You can do anything you want.
I have to figure out how to switch it from the close symbol to that.
Yeah. So now bring your foot back over to the hi-hat pedal and do this with your foot closed. And then you never want to do this. Use these sticks. Take these away. These are just for keeping our sanity. So when you hit, the reason why these sticks are so chewed up is because the hi-hat is being hit like this, never this, unless you're doing like, fancy bounce stuff. But this is just a nicer sound. Now open that a little bit. Now go closed, open with, and mechanize your foot. Yeah. So that's how that works. And that's the usage of that is, you know, many lessons down the road. But for now, just do this. Boom, bop, boom, boom, bop, as you do this. Give me the We Will Rock You beat. 4 over here. 1, 2, 3. Now do this beat. Oh, I just get some different sticks. Now do this beat. So instead of do this, that's going to happen in between. It's going to happen in between.
Yeah, I think I can. Okay.
Do, bop.
Okay.
Do just this. Yes. Okay, now this is late. Get to it sooner. Doom, check, boom, bop. It's going to happen right in between these notes.
Yeah. I think I forgot. So this, yeah, maybe I need.
Just do this. Just do this. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2. Do this. Make it even between those. Right foot, right hand. Yeah, that's going to happen in between, exactly in between those two hits. D or D da 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 da. It's going to hit on that in between mathematically.
Okay.
In fact, I'll write that down for you.
I've got a picture actually of a bunch of notes. I think on my phone. You probably know what they are easier than me.
Sure, bust it out.
So I just have a little whiteboard, and I don't know of all the ones that make any sense to you.
That's one way to write it.
This is what I was kind of seeing on YouTube, and I thought I'll try to map these out so I can see the differences.
All the drummers watching this are getting a good laugh. Okay, but it does make sense.
Yeah.
This is.
You think that's?
This is like the predecessor of Western notation.
Yeah.
This is probably how notation first looked back in like the 1300s.
That's what I was saying. It's gonna break your heart when I show you what I showed the kids, which is a few more photos over. Yeah, there's just there they are playing with it right there. He's
good.
And that is it.
I mean that is a way to do it.
And all those are on sticky. All the ones on the bottom are on sticky tack. So I moved them around and said, "Look, you could do 2 beats."
Yes. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It makes sense, and to have it in such a point blank grid fashion makes it way more accessible to someone who doesn't know what because drum music looks like this. This is some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
See, now that
Yeah.
versus this, we could draw that out like this,
Yeah.
but now we have all this esoteric notation, and musicians know what the stem and the beam and the little flaggy thing, we all know what that means. So it's an esoteric language, but you've broken this down into
Just one
an
way-
accessible language to communicate the exact same concepts. So this is brilliant. I'm not cringing at all. It's funny. I mean, to a drummer, it's funny, but it does make sense. So there's nothing wrong with it. If the kids are understanding,
I think
whatever, and because if a kid wraps their mind around this, then wrapping their mind around this they'll be that much more ahead of the game, because they're at least understanding, grid forms and the structures of grids. So I'll write down that beat. And I'll write it out in 2 measures worth. So X's mean what?
Probably the hi-hat.
Any symbol could be this. Because you could do, all right, do that same beat, but instead of hitting this, hit that with a closed foot. Do the same beat. Doom, doom, cha, doom, doom, cha. It doesn't matter what your right hand is hitting. You could hit this. And I'll write it out in a kind of a way that makes sense. Similar to the way you have it.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is our bar line, splitting. Okay, so doom, jat, doom, jat. That's the basic form. But now what you're going to do is you're going to put a beat right in between that. And the way that's going to be written, to be proper about it, is with a flag to denote an 8th note value.
It's in the middle of...
This is, what kind of note is that? Is that a half note, quarter note, 8th note, 16th note? Okay, we'll get there.
Yeah.
This is all math.
The position?
No, well,
I know
that's...
there's a difference between the 16th notes, but that's about...
Okay, the value of 2 16th notes equals 1 of what kind of note? Math. 2 16ths. Within the space of 2 16th notes, if we had one note to replace that same duration, what's the hierarchy above 16? An eighth. And above that, a fourth, and above that, half, and above that, 1. Okay. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, blah, blah, blah. We're never going to use 64th notes. Most musicians don't use 32nd notes. Drummers use them all the time, but we don't call them 32nd notes.
Okay.
I mean, we might.
I see it. No, yeah.
We you know.
4 bars of 8, and maybe change up the fourth one.
Yeah, and so this is happening in between. Okay. So stare at this and play that beat. In between. Yes, together. Play just the regular beat. Doom, doom, ja, da, doom, doom. Forget this weird note.
Just this one?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
These are also together? Okay.
Yeah. Just the most basic beat possible.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And now this one just happens in between the second and third note.
So right before that, one more. All right. No.
Yes, that's basically it.
Yeah. Okay.
Together.
Maybe not quite.
I know that you understand it.
I mean, you can look at it long enough.
Put it to a metronome and work on it, but I know that you know it. And so now we're going to add a fourth note to make it sound cooler, which is just going to be on beat 4.
Okay.
Okay, and that's lined with this.
I did just finally find a channel that had a few of these in the middle of things, and I played with a few of them. They were in that photo, so maybe this one is one of those, but probably not. That's a lot of feet.
Now these little squiggles that I'm making
Yeah.
are, I'll explain those later, but anyone who sees this, who is a drummer, I don't want them laughing at me for not notating it appropriately.
Yeah. Alright.
This little squiggle happens on this beat too. So we still want to have a marking on the primary beats. So this is an eighth note rest. So we have this little symbol. And so if there's going to be an absence of something, we still want, ironically, something to show us that on that beat there is nothing.
Okay.
So that's a rest, and this is a beat rest. So 1, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 4. 1, 2, and 3. Let's see if I can do this. 1, 2, and 3. 4. 1, 2, and 3. 4. So this is still happening on beat 3. So that beat, doom, doom, ja, boom, boom. Wrap your mind around that. Play it slowly.
Okay.
And then just for good form, here, not here, here, hit the edge. Yes.
What's the last? Yeah.
You did it.
This is in the middle of this.
It's the same thing, yeah. Doom. I could just I just wrote it twice.
It's the same? Oh, okay.
You could just loop that. It's the same. Mm-hmm.
Almost.
Doom, doom, ja, boom, boom. Boom, boom. And together. Together, together. Right hand, right foot. Choom, choom, 4, 1.
Yeah. What is this? This is this, and again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, choom, choom.
Okay.
Yes. Ah, yes. Now, pro tip. If you do this, now there's passage. Now you can clear that stick.
Okay.
So not overlapping.
Oh, yeah.
Good. And then make up your own beat and write it down and then play it. I want to be impressed. Make up your own beat.
All right. I thought about that. I got that picture with all the different ones, and I thought, yeah, I just move stuff around.
Exactly. Anything. Binary can go to infinity. This can go to infinity. It's all a game. Now, some of it is more musical than others, but it is fair, because if it's mathematical, then that means it's fair. So, now I'm going to play a little exit music for you to get you thinking about possibilities. And I'll play that beat. Get this moving. And this is advanced, but this is something that is doable. 2 and 3 and 4, upbeat, upbeat. Or just speed it up and then add some more notes. Okay, I'll do a progression of adding notes here. That's all I'm doing. Right, left, right. Possibilities. Well, sir, that's some impressive stuff that you showed me.
Thank you. I wanna learn that.
Yeah, well, there it is. There's that beat, and all the extra spice that I threw in there at the end. Most of that just sounded impressive because I just speeded it up. But there were other things that I was doing to make it more crispy and spicy.
Yeah, that's still, yeah. Electronic definitely messes with a little bit of like.
The reality of
Feel,
things,
yeah.
the feel, totally. There are some electronic drum sets that I've played that are like, oh, okay, this is
Simulates the actual
is.
the weight and everything. And
Let's put it this way: is not a disappointment.
okay.
It's all a disappointment, but some drum sets, some electronic drum sets, are less disappointing than others. So much so that I'm kind of like, well, yeah. Let's put it this way: I have played electronic drum sets in gigs. Like I had an electronic drum set that I played in a musical. I did Les Miserables and in the pit orchestra, and my thing was an electronic drum set. And there can be latency issues. You can hit, and then, but in modern day, that's not really a problem anymore. You know, electronic drum sets used to be like bad. Like you hit, and then it goes. Oh my goodness. And then the feel thing is weird relative to real drums. But at the end of the day, I mean, you just get a feel for whatever you're hitting. We got a feel for those wooden bars. We got a feel for the drums. We could hit the carpet and get a feel for that. Mm-hmm. Anything is game to hit. Yeah. And whatever you're hitting, you just get a feel for that. And so, like, the way my right hand feels hitting that cymbal is a totally different feeling than when my left hand is hitting that drum. So they are experiencing two different feels, but one is just adjusting to the thing that it's hitting, and this thing is adjusting to what it's hitting. So it's all an adjustment, so it doesn't really matter what we hit. What matters is that we can adjust and adapt to what we're hitting. Bam. Oh, a coordinated student. Oh, this is such a pleasant surprise. Such a pleasant surprise. I guess that's a surprise we could say because, you know, I don't know. I had no idea who was coming.
Yeah.
And my friend said, well, "Who's coming?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't know. Some
I
guy."
thought about it. I was like, do I need to say a little more?
Oh, is it a kid? Like, well, I mean,
maybe,
it's probably not a kid because if it was a kid, I'd be talking to the mom
true, yeah.
or the dad and be saying, and that person would have said my kid.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you got those little papers?
I do.
You know what to do, and your homework assignment. And this is the most important thing. Everything that you learn. You are mandated, you are required to teach it to someone else.
Okay.
And as a teacher, you can understand why, because you don't know shit unless you have successfully explained it to another human being, so much so that they can then demonstrate understanding by doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt pretty good today when kids were doing 1, 2, 3 together, 1, 2, 3 together, and that was as far as, I mean, that's where I want them to be at the moment. Some of them got it.
That's fine.
Okay.
And the basic notation you have is, yeah, that's fine. In fact,
It
I
was,
might do the same thing if I was had an audience that had no previous knowledge.
yeah,
I would do it that way.
yeah, yeah. There's the kids are Flint's age. It's 6th graders. So one kid was in band. He was able to do it without even thinking. Everybody
Yeah.
else is still messing with it, but they're excited. They're probably
Now-
gonna get their work done.
Tomorrow,
Yeah,
have them separate their hands, elbows up, turning in. Now, with the elbow up, without twisting at all, just the natural position where it is, if I turn my elbow up, now I'm turned over.
yeah,
So because I don't want to have to like do this. That's why we have our hands apart, elbows out, and now this is ready to go. And the stick is in line with our thing. And ideally, what we are hitting is right here below this parallel, because that's going to be the most amount of leverage. If you're going down too far, now you're poking at the drum. Now if your drum is up here, now you're just hitting the rim. So right parallel and just beneath it, like 5 degrees below, is the ideal position wherever your arms are positioned. So if you were doing concert snare drum at the height that you are, I might actually put it up to here, because that forces the elbows out. But if it was down here, now you're compelled to do this.
yeah.
So if you want to fix this, all you got to do is just raise the surface that they're hitting. Because if the surface they're hitting is above the elbow,
Yeah.
then they're going to do this, which is just horrible.
Yeah.
They're going to be compelled to do this and lift this up however high. You could have it up here, or however high you can go to where this is parallel and then down slightly. So you could have it like right under their chin. And that really, and playing in French grip there, it would be horrible.
Yeah.
Especially if their elbows are down. So
Yeah.
just lower the kid or raise the surface. Have them turn over, turn the wrist.
Yeah, we'll have to think about it because even I don't even know how my own drum set functions like that. I have to go look and see where I'm at. I've never thought about it.
It's all right if it's a little lower.
Yeah.
Just, to play up here would be kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Because you still need to be able to like reach and move to other things. So it's usually a bit lower than the ideal. But the ideal is only science-based. There's just so much. We can break rules all day long. It can be lower, but as long as you're not. But if it's below if it's below the position of the elbow as they're down, then it's just really tempting to just have your elbows down, and there it is. It's below my surface.
Yeah.
So I'm hitting here. If it's up here now, like, oh wait.
Yeah.
So it just compels
I'll think
proper.
about it. I'll put cardboard under, I guess. I don't have wood at school. I don't want to bring in wood. So cardboard for
You
the
could just have them
drum
hit their own. You could have them hit their own hand.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah. Yeah.
You could just have a little piece of wood or a little tile. Then they could just hit that tile.
Yeah.
They can hold, and you never want to, if you're, if we're being technique Nazis, what you do is you get the dominant hand working properly first, and you don't even put a drumstick in your other hand, your stupid hand.
Yeah.
You get this down, and then the big brother teaches the little brother what to do. Look, see monkey, do monkey. And so,